Hi, I'm Tony, this is Slack, welcome to Smog Vlog.
Today we're going to be looking at Eleaf's new temperature control offering, the iStick TC40W. It's a great little portable device, 40 watts of power with variable wattage and of course temperature control.
Okay, so let's unbox the device and take an up-close look at it.
Quick tour around the outside of the box. You can see the image of the device with the fact that it's a temperature control unit there. A bit of Eleaf branding. The blurb explaining about the device and its temperature control. One scratch and sniff sticker. More branding. Various colour options and whether it comes with the GS tank. And details that it's the iStick 40W TC. Let's open her up and take a look inside. Oh. Little by little. Inside we're presented with the usual Eleaf pull-out bit with our iStick 40W temperature control battery, a space where the GS tank would sit. Inside we have one 510 adapter, one USB cable and one of them wordy things. Taking a look at the device itself, first impression is bloody hell that's small. It's a really tiny unit. Having recently reviewed the Kanthal Subbox Mini, this is even smaller. So the unit itself is a fairly nice brushed steel with a very tiny white Eleaf logo there. We have a very nice chrome top here with a 510 adapter there, a USB charging port on the bottom. Then we have our operation side with the go button, 3 adjustment buttons and a very nice sort of black glass effect finish along the front. So for the purpose of this video we fit it with the iJust2 tank complete with a temperature control coil. So basic operation of the device, 5 clicks for on. That presents you with the screen with the 3 default readings, which is your resistance of your coil down to 2 decimal places, the wattage you're currently set to and the voltage it's currently running at. In wattage mode, simply press the up and down button to adjust the wattage as you see fit. To change from variable wattage mode into temperature control mode, press and hold the menu button and that will flip you over into the temperature control mode, where you can press the up and down buttons to adjust your temperature again as you decide. The device features a mode called stealth mode, which will turn the OLED screen off while you're vaping. To activate this, you press and hold the go and down buttons at the same time for a couple of seconds. They'll then come up saying that stealth mode's on. Now it's a bit confusing to operate. If you press and hold to vape, your screen goes out. If you just tap the screen, however, your screen will come back. It will stay on until you vape again. This is quite a good feature for leaving it off but being able to access the information. To turn stealth mode off again, press and hold the go and down buttons for a couple of seconds and it will say stealth off. However, you notice the display's disappeared once more, just tap it again and it will come back. To switch between the wattage control and the temperature control modes, press and hold the menu for just a brief moment and that will flip over. Once you've got your desired settings input on the device, you can lock it so you can't accidentally adjust it with the up and down buttons. You do this by pressing the up and down button at the same time for a few seconds. It will then come up saying lock, and shortly after the screen will disappear. If you go to adjust it, it will just tell you that it's locked. However, the device still fires. To unlock, simply press the buttons again. It will come up saying unlock, the screen will go out and then it's ready, back to normal. So one thing we didn't cover in the up close video due to technical issues is the temperature operation. So when you're in temp control mode, you just use the up down buttons to scroll through it. if you're starting out at your 100 degrees centigrade, you scroll all the way up to your 315 degrees centigrade. After that, it's going to flip back down to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and then go all the way up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit before flipping down to 100 degrees centigrade again. Bit of a weird system. I would have expected a menu to be C or F, you know, and you choose which one you want to work in rather than flipping through both in a round robin kind of fashion, but it works fine.
Okay, so one thing we noticed when we started using the iStick 40W TC from Eleaf was when we installed the atomizer into it, it was coming up with a message on the screen saying, what did it say? It
was new coil up, same, down. Now, at first I thought it was just really shit English. It was supposed to be new coil upside down. I'm like, I haven't fitted it upside down. It's definitely the right way up. What is going on? However, we dug deep into the manual.
Into the manual.
Into the manual. And Tony?
Yes, we dug deep and read the manual basically, and the manual says that
if it's a new coil, you press up. And if it's a new replacement coil,
if it's the same coil,
down.
you push the down button. So
yeah,
it's
so it's not bad English.
It's not
it
bad
makes
English.
Sense. New coil up, same down.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. Obviously, just not perfect English. Oh well. So the 40W TC, it's available in 4 different colours. You have the silver, which I'm sporting now, a slightly darker silver they call grey, a slightly darker grey they call black, and blue.
Blue, the bastards.
Yeah, in keeping with the silver thing. They'll have the nice sort of silver chrome finished tops and the black glass sort of OLED screen in there, which is good.
Yeah. The glass on the OLED screen, it can be a bit hit and miss outside in bright sunshine.
Yeah, it takes the edge off what would otherwise be quite a bright OLED screen. It looks nice, but yeah, in sunlight it's harder to use.
The bottom of the device has a USB charger, which, I don't know, dodgy placement. We all want to see the USB charger on the side of the device.
I don't think so. It's so small, and the tank is where me and Tony disagree. On principle, I agree with Tony. With most batteries, I would want it on the side, so you just charge it like that. But with this, the tank that I've got on here is nearly the same size and weight as the unit. So having the charger on the side would be a bit precarious. So having it lie down so you've got your screen facing you, you know, you're not going to be running a dripper off this, so it's not as much of a problem.
Slack getting confused thinking I mean the charger up here. I actually mean the charger down here, which is where a lot of other devices have it. The iStick 50W had it up here. Everyone on the internet and their mother said that was a stupid place to have it because it kept causing the device to fall over. Moving on. On the top of the device we've got a cutout on the top which everyone thought was air holes, battery venting. It's not, it's actually to stick a lanyard through so you can hang it around your neck.
So are we saying there's no battery venting there? Because I like battery venting, I am pro battery venting.
We all like battery venting.
Sooner a battery vents than explodes in my face.
It's not, it's for the lanyard.
Motherfuckers.
In a word. Moving on. It's a 2600 milliamp hour battery.
Which is surprisingly good for how small it is. You know, I've seen bigger with not much bigger sort of power. Pretty impressive.
Mm. It'll last you the day.
Yeah, through using it, I was finding it lasted a day, which is yeah, what you want. So when you're charging the device, it's going to take you about 3.5 hours to charge it from flat to full on a 1 amp plug, which is fairly reasonable.
Mileage will vary, everyone's different, but for us...
That said, yeah, it lasted me the day on temperature control, and we'll get to this later, but they do reckon even, that temperature control will save your battery, which, yeah, I can see the math.
The blurb on the website says not only save your battery, but save you e-juice and save your coils as well, or, you know, longevity.
So the top of the unit is really good quality. For a small unit, it doesn't feel small or weak. Has a spring-loaded 510 connector that, yeah, I'm impressed with that. You know, for the compact size of it, it feels like a bigger unit, which is good. The output wattage of the device is variable from 1 watt up to the maximum of 40 watts.
The resistance in temperature control runs from 0.05 up to 1 ohm, but in variable wattage mode it changes from 0.15 up to 3.55 ohm, which is pretty awesome.
One thing I can't remember if we covered in the up close video is that you can actually lock the adjustment control, so whether it be temperature or variable wattage that you want to lock. If you press the up and down button for about 5 seconds, it will just come up saying that it's locked. After that, when you try and adjust it, it just says locked, but you can still use the device. Same again to unlock it. It's a pretty handy feature, pretty standard across the Eleaf range.
Especially if you've got it sort of sitting in your pocket and where it can accidentally get knocked, you go out and try and vape it and you're down at, you know, bugger all.
Yeah, you don't want to be pocket firing though, because that's how accidents happen.
Yeah.
I quite like my balls. So, Tony, you've been using this for about a week. How did you get on with it?
Initially, not that impressed. I was really quite underwhelmed with it. I don't know whether that was due to an initial sort of breaking in period, but I found it initially to be quite underpowered. The vapour production I got from it wasn't very good. It was very economical on the amount of juice that it used still, which you'd hope for in temperature control mode, but apart from that, everything across the board I was quite underwhelmed with. That being said, I don't know whether it's, like I said, an initial breaking in period or something like that, but a week later I sort of came back to it, picked it up again and started using it, and the flavour seemed to develop more. I got more flavour from it, and the power seemed to pick up really weirdly. I can't explain it myself, but I started to enjoy it more than I did initially. What were your thoughts? How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I loved it. I was really impressed with how small it is, and how much sort of functionality there is with the temperature control. 40 watts in such a small thing. It is good. It is impressive. Now, initially, I was like, testing the temperature control out as low as it would go, real cold. Because I'm not a fan of a hot vape, but it's not really the point of temperature control. The temperature of the vape you hit is going to be the same thereabouts, that you experience. It's really what the coil's doing. But to try and fully test the device, started out really low, so I was hardly getting anything. One thing I did notice, and it seems to be common across all temperature control things, and I believe it's to do with the resistance and the way it monitors that resistance as it changes with heat, is that if it's been sat cold on the side, the first drag you have at a set temperature won't give you much production. But then you take a couple more drags, as the tank sort of heats up a bit, you get more out of it for the same length and power drag on the same temperature settings. So that was a sort of a weird thing I noticed, but the whole temperature control idea, I really like it. It sort of surprised me. I've been spending most of my time on drippers and mods lately. So to sort of step down to this, I thought I wasn't going to like it. One of the things I did do, because I knew this was going to be underpowered compared to like an unregulated mod, I went for some really harsh lemon and menthol that in a dripper it would knock your cock straight off, but on this it was really nice. It was sort of a bit like lemon Turkish delight. And there's no way you could do it on dripper, and so you needed sort of less. So I was okay playing about on the very low end of the temperature scale. I'd sort of maybe get up to about the 200 mark. At the moment we've got cherry coke in here, which is just very mortish, and we're up at 215. And again, the vapour reduction actually out of this is good. I think there's a reasonable amount of flavour. Obviously it's not going to rival a dripper or something a lot more powerful, but for having temperature control and that safety blanket of avoiding the dry hits, I think it's really good. See that cloud? That's at 215 degrees C. So you know, the vape itself felt like a sort of normal temp vape. You know, the unit's not getting too hot. The power obviously regulates itself as it goes, sort of following the standard TC. Talking of which, if you haven't already, check out our article we've done on temperature control. We'll link you up below. So you can use this on variable wattage mode with a temperature control. However, because the threshold for switching from a TC coil into a regular coil is the 0.15 ohms, when your coil's cold, it's probably not going to run, because the resistance is at its lowest, it's probably not going to run on the variable wattage mode. I've seen that happen. Currently we've just been using it, and so I've just done a test fire at 40 watts, you know, just to see it, and yeah, it works really well. Obviously with TC coils I'm going to stick it in TC, that's where the smart money's at. Okay, so we've whacked iJust 2 tank here with regular coil, EC coil head, not a temperature control one. We're currently firing at 40 watts, the device's maximum. Let's give it a quick hit. So that's a good cloud out of that. We're going to switch back to the TC one, hopefully still firing at its 40 watts.
And then hopefully Slack will be able to tell us what his first impressions are of between the two.
Yeah, that was slightly less flavour and production, but not by a lot. I mean, again, this is firing a TC head on just variable wattage, just cranked up to the max. Which is kind of missing the point of this device, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If you've got a TC head, use it. You know, it's there for a reason. But yeah, it's doable, it works, and it's not bad. It's not as good, but it's not bad. So, pros and cons. We'll start with the cons, Tony. So let's just list out what we thought is not good about it. Obviously, you've already mentioned the reduced flavour from it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, you know, temperature control and all of that, we've done all that, but in terms of the battery, it's only a 2600 milliamp hour battery. It's small compared to what I've been using, although it will last you the day, which I'm happy about. If a device will get me through a day, I'm quite happy about that.
For me, yeah, it's the shame about the black glass. Looks really lovely, but it darkens down the OLED screen to the point where on a rare sunny day in Britain, I couldn't really read what the hell was going on there. I thought I had it in stealth mode, but no, it was just too bright out. Stealth mode, stealth mode is a good thing. I like the idea, it's fine having that. However, it's a pain in the arse to use. You know, you turn stealth mode on, then you've got to press a button, then you've got to press another button, then it'll sort of work. And if you accidentally tap the button rather than holding it, you can come out of... What? Just make it more simple. Turn the screen off, turn the screen on.
It kind of seems unnecessary, considering it's an OLED screen, which is supposed to be power saving in the first place, to then further that by putting stealth on there, which just confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, I like the idea in principle. On paper it's a good idea. It's not something I would ever use. But, yeah, it's okay.
The other con for me is the placement of the USB charger, which we've already said earlier on. I just think that's a really poor placement. It needs to be on the side.
Whereas I disagree. I really like it sort of being here. You just lay it down, charge up, and away you go. But, you know, to each their own.
The other one is the shiny chrome top and bottoms. They're going to scuff up in no time. I'm not a fan of chrome top and bottoms. Eleaf have been doing it for ages, and the amount of batteries I've had from them, where screwing the tank on the top and screwing it off again because you've got to fill it up, it just scuffs them up like a bastard.
See, I really like it. It looks really good. Though I have found myself, like even just during this review, continually cleaning fingerprints off it because it's chrome. But I really like the look of it. So, you know, I'm happy with that. I think it looks really good, really pro.
Okay, Slack, so what do you think some of the pros are?
Well, obviously the size of the unit. I mean, I'd seen pictures of it. I wasn't expecting it to be this small. Tony reckons it's the same sort of body as the 20 watt.
I think about 20 or 30 watt.
So just sort of repurposed body potentially, but yeah, I'd steer clear of those due to some sort of technical issues with them, but there don't seem to be, touch wood, any technical issues with this. And the size is great for a 40-watt device that gets me through a day. Yeah, it's really impressive.
I like the lanyard placement on the top, I've got to say that. I mean, after using the iJust 2 with the Ghetto lanyard attachment to it, where you can just hang it around your neck, what with that only being a 2600 milliamp hour battery, it's small enough to actually hang it around your neck and not feel like you've got a huge fucking weight dragging you down to the ground, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, that is great. That is great, I agree. So yeah, temperature control is obviously a big draw for this unit, and it's the main reason you're going to want to buy it. Yeah, it's brilliant. Love it. Yeah, having temperature control in a very small unit, small portable, lanyardable unit, yeah, it's really good. Like it. Another thing I'm loving about the device is the resistance. So on a regular coil you fire down to the 0.15. Usually with devices sort of this size you're expecting to see the 0.2, 0.3. So that's pretty cool. Obviously it fires down to the 0.05 with the TC coil. That's pretty cool. So yeah, resistance is futile. Got to get my Star Wars reference in there somewhere.
Star Trek, you idiots! Oh!
Yeah.
I think ultimately what we're trying to say is that this device is aimed at sort of new beginners of the temperature control sort
As
of
opposed
market.
to experienced beginners.
Yeah, as opposed to experienced beginners. For what you get out of it, it does the job admirably. If you don't mind taking the reduced sort of vapour production flavour, it's not massive, and the gains you get from it in terms of what temperature control is supposed to be doing for us, which is saving us from dry hits which can potentially be hazardous to our health, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, summing up, how much, where from?
So it's about the £43 mark from eleafworld.co.uk. Can't remember if I used a voucher code. I am pro voucher codes, but I am also terrible at remembering things. So we'll have a look, and if we find it we'll stick it in the notes below. Yeah, before we go, shout out to Devilish Mode in the comments section, who's been rocking the device for a little while now. Give us a shout in the comments section and let us know you're getting along with it, yeah? So that concludes our review of the Eleaf iStick TC40W. It's a great little portable temperature control device. I really quite like it.
Thanks for watching the Smog vlog. Don't forget to check out our article on temperature control. It's loaded up in the video section. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
So no. Nah. Shush.
Choked on my own spit. How can this happen halfway through?
Oh, it's not only halfway through, is it?
No,
Fucking hell,
it's not.
please tell me it's nearly
No,
done.
yeah, it is. No. No. Fucking thing. Hurry up, you cunt. It's so fucking hot in here.
Another thing I'm really impressed with. Yeah. Fuck off. Oh. Oh, I'm so nearly there. Oh.
Who's arriving?
Another thing I'm really impressed with is the oh, fuck. Another thing I'm really impressed Another thing I'm really I'll get there eventually.
Oh no! I get a thesaurus. Come up with another word for impressed with.
Another thing I'm loving about the unit is the resistance. Shit! 40 minutes and 2 arseholes laughing at each other on the sofa.
Ready?
No. Doesn't usually stop here.
Shut up! Fuck you. Oh. Hold on a second.
Well, we can say about the colours. You get a choice of colours. You get the silver. There's a grey, which is like a darker silver. A black, which is like a much darker grey, and a blue,
Which is nothing like grey at all. It's completely different. Bastards mixing it up so much. What the fuck have I got juice over me?
Sorry. Nailed it. Shit, that deserves a vape.